Hello everyone and welcome back to another Universe Sandbox video, and welcome back to our realistically curated solar system here. So if you missed last episode, definitely go ahead and check that one out before watching this video. But we made our realistic Mars-like world over here. So the cold desert design, the mountainous regions, got a few pockets of frozen water there as well, some ice pockets. I gotta say, it was a good design, and I liked it. It looks like you guys did as well, but I actually got some suggestions as well. We've got some names, so I'm going to actually copy those from the comments here from the user Qued. They gave me some names we could call these. So we've got Stelly Blue as the planet name. So we're just going to put that straight in, because it makes it a little more interesting than just having the default names. So we'll put that in there. Then we've got the first moon here. Not actually... we haven't actually got a name for the planet. Oh, he's only given me 3 names, even though there's 4 objects here. But yeah, we'll roll that anyway. So, Delity. So we'll grab those names there. Okay, so we still have the last moon that hasn't got a name over here. I guess we'll keep it as Idel. There we go. And then we've got Steebelu as our Mars-like world name there. So there we go. So we name that. Very nice indeed. So now onto the system itself. So like I was saying last episode, we can definitely fit. There's definitely space for another object between Venus Rossin here and Janitas, our Earth-like world. So I saw a comment saying about making a Wasteland kind of planet. So yeah, we're going to roll with that. And maybe a Super Mercury. I saw someone said about a Super Mercury as well. So we could probably fit both of those in here in this episode. So what I'm going to do is we'll start with the Mercury world first. So, Super Mercury. So, does it go closer than Venus Rossin? I don't know. Sirius is a pretty nasty... I mean, this is already... I reckon you could fit one more object in there. So, a Super Mercury. So, that's going to be hot rock, not much atmosphere going on, cratered, battered up. So, let's go with random rocky. I'm going to place it... 0.2 AU maybe? 0.295. I'm going to place it in there. Okay. So we need to be a super Earth, so I want to make it larger than Earth mass-wise. So 1.2. I think that's a decent size, yeah. Not the super of supers, but, you know, still a decent size. Right. Now, craters. If we're going for a Mercury design, it's going to need craters. So, now I'm not going to give this guy moons, because we've already seen that moons around Venus Rossin, they're already smoking up and losing material. So I don't think this planet should have moons, because they'd probably just dissolve from the power of Sirius. So yeah, there's the craters. I always like Planet 15. That is a great texture. And I'm going to merge it with Mercury itself. I think that gives you a lot of craters. Yeah, that's going to look good. Somewhere there. Get a good mix between the two. Crazy levels of craters there. Do we tidally lock? I'm going to tidally lock it. I think that'll make it interesting. So tidally locked. It's close to the star. It fits the criteria. It's tidally locked now. There we go. Surface-wise, I mean, it's going to be it's not going to be the most interesting object out there, that's for sure. It's going to be, your generic sort of grey-looking world. Something like that, I think, would be perfectly ideal. Ooh, the black scorch could look quite good. Low elevation, fill those in black out as well, and then have the middle as just a generic rock, maybe. Actually, let's turn up the terrain. Contrasts. That roughly where it is, but then the terrain, we can turn this up, make it look like a proper mountainous, just battered rock. There we go. Another Soulby. This is like the most common name. It's always Soulby or Salaby. Right. But then let the simulation speed. I want to get this guy warmed up. Let's put it straight to 500 because I reckon it's going to be pretty hot. We're going to see. Yeah, there you go. There's your scorched surface. That's exactly what we want. Looking good. It's going to be a hot world. I don't think it's... How hot's Venus Rossin? It may actually be a little hotter than Venus Rossin, because this doesn't have a crazy greenhouse effect. 460, so it's a little hotter than that. What's our albedo looking at? So it's 0.51, so it's fairly reflective. But we'll see how hot it goes. The hottest point is already at 1,000, so you can see the front face is just getting scorched to shreds. I think that's a good look. So there's a good look at them there. Quite liking that. So the scorched world, indeed. See the craters, that molten surface looking pretty hostile indeed. Do like that. I'm just thinking texture-wise, I don't know if I'm entirely happy with the way that's worked. Do I want to go with that maybe? Does that look any better? Just switching. I'm just going to hit back to 0. I just want to see how the surface looks properly. But yeah, I think that's a good little mix we got going on there. Not sure if I like the low the way it is. Maybe I'll make it a slightly more brownish shade. Make it look a little more scorched, like a dark brown kind of mix. I think that could look quite good. Yeah, so it's just so it's not a generic grey. No, it's got a little bit more personality to it. Then it's got the grey spots, I guess. I think the black looks better, to be honest. There we go. And then the high elevation is that. So maybe we'll have that as a slightly grey. I mean, I'm going to keep it with the orange. That's too much, but I'm going to keep it like a pale, very pale sort of brownish grey. This colour is the deeper brown. Deeper, darker brown. There you go. Cratered up. Definitely looks like a Mercury-like world for sure. But it obviously doesn't look like Mercury exactly, which is exactly what we're going for here. Even though it's using that Mercury texture. Now we just find a nice look for it. Yeah, that's looking good. Lots. Bashed to shreds this thing at craters, isn't it? Oh my gosh. There's Mercury's texture underneath it there, so we just merge them all together nicely. I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it? But you got a nice mix there. And we could always invert these. No, definitely not. Yeah, that's definitely... Yeah, I think that's the best look we got going on there, really. It doesn't really matter between those two, does it? That's just a flip of the elevation. Maybe I'll stick with that. There you go. Press play. Pull it back up. Yeah, look how high that... This is only a couple of days. That temperature just skyrockets. Look at that surface. Scorching up very fast. And may give it just a tad more albedo, maybe? I don't know. Just a bit more. I'm just going to give it a tad. Make it a little reflective. A little more reflective. Where are we? Just increase it up a bit. Maybe 0.6. Cool it just a tad. But, I mean, that front surface is still going to be very hot. Very, very violent. And then it doesn't have an atmosphere, does it? No. I mean, do we give it... Maybe just a faint little dead atmosphere, maybe? Just a tiny little thing. I mean, ATM, 0.015. A very, very thin, very, very basic atmosphere. Atmosphere there. It can turn it up a bit, but it's not going to be much. Maybe just a pale white atmosphere. Maybe like a steam-like atmosphere. I'm not sure, really. Doesn't really matter about that. But yeah, just a very pale white atmosphere. Not much going on at all. Very, very faint. But there it is. So let's just make it very... It's got to be thin. It's definitely got to be thin. But there it is. So there's a scorched Mercury. So there's your Super Mercury, effectively. A realistic-looking Super Mercury, cratered up, tightly locked as well for a little extra impact to it. Temperature's warming up. So the tightly locked area, that's hotter than anything. But, you know, the colder regions, minus 200. This is still behind there. No, there's no atmosphere really keeping this temperature in. So like Mercury, it'll get cold overnight. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, that tightly locking is definitely going to hurt that big time. So that scorched surface looking pretty bashed up. So there you go. Looking good. And then also use this colour. We'll give it a little more, maybe a brownish shade. There you go. So there's your Mercury-like world. Someone come up with a name of that in the comments as well. I'm sure someone will have a name because we're not going to keep it called Solarbeast. So yeah, let me know what name you want that called. Right, now moving on to the world that will probably take us more time. So I'm not giving that any moons. Definitely not. It's too close to the star. Right, so now we're going to go for the Wasteland world. So what I'm thinking is some sort of, kind of like how Earth would be in the future, you know, its greenhouses increase, there's not much water left, maybe a few pockets of water at the North and South Poles, maybe something like that. And it's going to need to be closer than the Earth-like world, so it's going to need to sit somewhere here. I think there's definitely space for a world there, so I'm going to go random rocky. Place here, yeah, it's got to be there, hasn't it? It's just a tad, maybe a slightly inclined orbit as well to kind of represent, you know, it's lost its way a bit, so... Eccentricity, yes. Let's increase that one. Increase this up. This time's up. It's taking too long. Okay, so then decrease this. Maybe a little too eccentric, but I want to keep it in that region. Somewhere like that, I'm thinking it'd be quite good. So it has closer points and it has further points, but either way, it's a barren world. It's not going to be too particularly kind to whoever tries to go there. It's tilted on its side as well. We will stick with that, actually. Right, maps. 15. We've already got 15. So what are we thinking? Bashed up looking world. I think you could probably go with... Ooh. I think Europa texture could look quite good on this, actually. You know, showing it's kind of been bashed up, scorched a bit. So we'll have Europa quite high, I think. And we have that as the first texture, actually. So what about Europa in a Venus mix? That's a lot of lines and crevices and things like that. Let's go with a Europa Venus kind of look. Somewhere in the middle there. Something like that. So it's got the cracks of Europa. You still got the effect of Venus. The Venus texture is hidden under there as well. All merged together. I think that's looking pretty darn cool. Something like that. A real mix between the two. Now, yeah, that's looking pretty darn good, actually. Maybe a little more on the Venus side of things. What if I swap them around? Let's go Venus and then Europa, actually. How does that look? Venus and then Europa. Maybe just increase Europa's presence a bit more. Or is it looking too Venus-like? I mean, we can come back to that. But first of all, colours. Ooh. This guy isn't really going to be that cold. It's not really going to have ice. So I'm thinking grey. It's going to be a mix of grey and brown, I think, this guy. Kind of like the Mercury-like world. But, you know, it's a world that's lost its place. It's got a lot of brown representing, like, dirt that may have once had life on it. So we're going to keep the brown for sure. Maybe we have a lot more brown, maybe? Or maybe it's like some very dark greenish to represent, you know, maybe it has just a tiny bit of life left on it, but there's not much left to give. But brown is definitely the dominant shade. Maybe we have the high elevation as the green. Then we have a mix of maybe sandy yellow to represent sand and dirt. I think that would be a good representation. I think... Do we have more dirt than sand patches? I think it makes more sense for this to be the sand and then this to be the dirt. So we'll swap them around. But this we can get very creative with this. So just a dirt brown. Maybe a little more pale. So pale brown. You got the sandy kind of yellow shade to represent sand. And then maybe just a tiny few pockets left of any remaining life. There's not much of it going on there. I'm not sure I like the way it... I don't like how the colours are blended together at all. I think that looks awful. That looks terrible. I don't like that one bit. Oh, good God. Okay. I mean, that looks... I mean, it's alright. Oh, we need to add some water to it first as well. I want to see how that looks. So, just a tad bit of water. Because it needs this is going to have an atmosphere as well. So, we're going to give it... Atmosphere pressure, I'm thinking... it's going to be like hotter than... the Earth-like world. So it needs. I want this guy to be roughly around maybe 50 to 100 degrees Celsius. You know, it's a hot, barren wasteland. So I don't think the atmosphere is going to be blue, though. I'm going to keep the tornado effect, but I'm going to keep it as maybe more of a pale, sort of thicker shade. Yeah, and then white cloud. I mean, we can stick with the white clouds, can't we? Now that starting to come together now. Sea level. That needs turning up. I only want a few pockets, so I do not want a lot. Albedo, increase that a bit. I don't know how hot this guy's going to get yet, but sea level and a bit more going on. Something like that, you know, it's not got much ocean left, but it's mostly, you know, it's just drying out. Stormy clouds, I think that fits quite well. I think that's looking pretty darn good, actually. Right, now it's all coming together. Let's just get underneath it again. So Wasteland, I mean, it's got the brown and the green. Maybe does the green really fit? I don't know. That's too much. The last pockets of life. Maybe the last pockets of life should be near the water. So maybe this needs to be the dark green. Then make this the more sandy looking region, maybe. That's the wrong colour I've just changed. Great. Right, so I'll keep that as green. High elevation, let's put that as the sandy shade. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. And then this, the dominant colour is the middle elevation, which is this dirt brown look. Maybe just a little more. We don't want that green being very prominent. So it's a world that formerly would have had some sort of habitability to it, but it's just been... It just formed too close to the star to really become habitable. So effectively it's too close. This sky is in the perfect region here. Habitable, Earth-like, nice oceans. But this one is formed a little too close to the star. Not as close as Venus Rossin, where it's completely Venus-like and scorched beyond repair. You know, it's just on the verge of that. So if we look at the zone, It's in the red region. We're going to watch that temperature carefully because I don't want it going too high. So, I mean, I'll start it at 100. I want it to drop from that. As long as it drops from 100, we should be set, which it is. That's perfect. Okay. So, it's got the green. Now, where's my water? Oi, where's my water gone then? Oi. So, we've lost our water. Now, why is that? It's got... Oh, there's your mass. It's not big enough. We need more mass. So, we haven't even sorted out the size of this guy yet, did we? It needs to be bigger than that. I mean, ideally, it needs to be around 0.7, you know... How large is that compared to... How does that compare to our lineup? So there's a little... Too much similar size going on here, isn't there? There's a little more... We even make Mercury bigger. I think we should make Mercury, but we did, you know, Super Mercury. They did say a Super Mercury, a Super Earth Mercury, so I'm going to double that. I'm going to make that a considerably larger rocky... What, 10 masses of Earth? Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's still... That's still bigger. Do we make this guy? We've got the Earth-like, we've got the Venus-like, which is larger than the Earth-like there. That's roughly your Earth stats. Maybe this guy needs to be... I mean, I think that works. I think we've got a decent lineup here. I think that... Could you see that fitting in there? I mean, it's as similar to its sister... I mean, the sister planet is effectively this. So it formed... Yeah, I think we can get away with one more rocky in that sort of size, I think. I think we may have a Super Earth further out in the system. I'm thinking maybe a Snowball Earth could be quite good. Right. First plate, I'm going to stick with that. I think the size is fine now. The water should work now since we've got enough going on. We've got enough radius to hold that in. So settle the water. Now, I'm thinking it's not going to be that blue. I want to have it as more murky, dirty, you know, more like that. So it's a lot like dirty water, you know, it's not clean, it's not fresh, it's a very barren, dirty, almost like a hot, barren swamp desert mix. You've got the last bit of habitability, these last green areas just hanging on, but it's not much to be said. I'm going to darken those more. It's got to look very barren. You've got a few patches of dead greenery left, but there's not much. And then I like the crevices, the cracks of Europa filling in those water gaps. That looks cool, the last little gaps of water there. It's tilted on its side as well. It doesn't look too friendly at all. Yeah, that's looking good. A few little pockets of water left of what once would have been a bigger ocean. It's a very barren desert here, no water at all. Mixed in with the Venus texture. I may just turn the Venus texture up a bit more. Just a tiny bit more Venus in there. There's your main water. I mean, maybe... I'm not sure. Maybe we need a little more blue in the water. I don't know. Oh, gosh, no. Oh, no way. Or maybe we just have it as a dark greyish blue water. You know, very foul water. More like that, maybe. No, almost grey, like dark grey water. Maybe like that. The last of the water. That's too dark, isn't it? I don't know if I like that. I mean, it could work. I mean, see it with the atmosphere all on top of it. I think that could look quite good. But that's definitely fitting the Wasteland characteristics, though, that is for sure. There's your clouds. So that's with it all put together. Press play. I think we can stick with that. I think the water works. The last bit of greenery there. The atmosphere is that sort of yellow, toxic-y, paled out shade. I mean, I don't think a blue atmosphere... No, I don't think a blue really fits this too great. I think it's definitely got to be either white. Maybe white. All that evaporated water becomes white, maybe? I think the barren... It's a wasteland, so we're having turbulent. I think we need a storm in there. For sure, we need a storm. Storm and turbulent. Pasty all the way. Oh, that's a lot of cloud coverage. I'm going to turn that down a bit. Or maybe we turn this up and lower this. Yeah, I think that looks quite... Oh, no, I like the coverage high, though. I like max coverage. Maybe just lower the opacity so you can see through it a bit more. Then atmosphere colour. Cloud colour, maybe they make that more... Oh, yeah. More toxic-looking clouds, maybe? That orange-yellow kind of shade. Maybe a darker, more of an orange... that murky, deserty. I mean, effectively, it's got a bit of it's a bit of a hot desert as well. Remember, it's a barren, hot wasteland, desert. A few patches of little water left of what was once a thriving ocean. It's dirty. It's barren. That's probably the last of the big lakes. Really, there's not really much else. There's just little pockets there. Atmosphere, it's too thick. I want to dim that down a bit. Yeah, I'm loving this. I think this is a great design. I mean, you guys tell me. Obviously, probably toot my own horn here, but I think that really fits a wasteland planet well. What do you think of that? I do like that. I've got to say, I'm very interested to hear your feedback on this. Maybe a slowed rotation like Venus as well. I think that could fit. You know, it's lost its rotation for 11 days. I'm going to go... Oh, Venus is a lot longer than that. But 11 days, that's quite a long rotation, isn't it? I'm going to stick with the 11 days. I think that works. Right, now we just need to see how it works in the simulation. I don't really want it ever going over 100 degrees. So I want to see, because it's already at 85 at this point, so it may need... So how hot does that get? The simulation doesn't want to run any faster. See, it's going to be hard to run this with the amount of moons we've got in this. The more moons we add, the more chaotic it gets. I think we may need a little more albedo just to protect it from its closer point to the star. So I'm going to buff that up considerably. I don't, because this is at its further point. Once it is its close point, so we can actually just manually cheat that because it hasn't got any moons yet. We can move it here. But I want to see how it gets there, because that is the hot region. See, that's going over 100. I do not want it going over 100 because I do not want that water evaporating. So I'm going to buff this up. Maybe just the edge of the just into the red, maybe there. It's still increasing there. Look, oof. But I do want the eccentric orbit. It does need to have something to represent its unstable characteristics. You know, it just was never able to become habitable, so it's just stuck as a wasteland. I think that may work, just on the edge of the 100. Let me just move it back to its closest point there. So it's still decreasing. Okay, I think we can get away with that. And then at its further point, we need to naturally let it just cool down. But I'm going to place it there, just get it out of the red zone. That's still going to be pretty hot. Let's put it up to 70. Okay, it's cooling down a bit, but again, that's still dangerously hot. You know, that's not your friend. Maybe it's furthest point. I mean, let's just manually muck around with it. Let's put it to 40. So it's still decreasing from 40. So I don't know if I like that. So that's getting a little more... It's still ridiculously hot though. We don't know what 40 degrees is like if you've experienced it on Earth. You know, 40 is not fun. And if the average is 40, you know, if you look at the actual weather conditions here, you can see 70. You know, that's still very hot. The coldest regions in the north. You can see there's a little tiny patch of ice there. This is the last bit because it's actually cold up there because of its tilted axis. But that ice patch doesn't last. Look, it changes as the seasons change, as it's getting closer to the star now. So that season does change. So how hot does it now get as it approaches again? You can see those weather conditions are not too nice. How's our Mercury work? Well, that's just fine. Is that all just 155 there? Just scored. Yeah, that's looking good. 58, 59. Okay. So it's going around. I want to watch another orbit though. I want to see it go around again. How's our system? I'm just looking. It's stable, isn't it? Yeah, it's looking fine. Right, no more inner planets. I think that is... We can't fit much more in there. I do not want it becoming in unstable. I think we got, you know, you got a Mercury, you got a Venus, you got your barren Venus/Earth mix. Then you got your Earth, well, you're close to Earth-like. Nice polar caps on that as well. Then you got your cold desert Mars, nice and frozen up. Yeah, that's looking... I'm really happy with the way that turned out. I think that looks great. So it's not as cold as Mars. It's still got those patches of water on it, which is pretty cool. Right, so how are we doing here? The high 50s, I think maybe we can give it a little less albedo. I think the albedo may be a little too high there, so I'm going to put it down to 0.65. 0.64, that works. Just to give it a little more kick. So it's still sitting at 50. It doesn't really go below 50 by the looks of it. I think it went to 48, but now we've lowered that. I don't think we're going to see much there. Right, I just want to watch it as it approaches now, because we need to. If I speed it up, it won't get the realistic look, so... How high does that go? Ideally, I want it to be 70, 80 constantly. So you can see it really increases as it gets closer to the star there. I may give it just a tad less eccentricity. just going to reduce that. I want it to always be roughly on that red zone. There we go. More like that. 70. There you go. So it goes really hot now. That's perfect. That is exactly perfect. The hot wasteland. There's no trace of... Well, there's hardly any trace of life. Have you got those tiny little patches of water just hanging on in there? But, you know, it's a world that will soon be... When we evolve this from birth to death, or once we start evolving this system into the future, you know, this world is not going to be looking great. It's already pretty barren. It's right in the between. It's right in the... I mean, present day Earth, present day Venus, this is right in the middle, effectively. You know, it's right in the middle of that. Greenhouse is kicking off. You know, it's becoming a global greenhouse effect. The water's just hanging on in there, but it's not going to be much. You know, this is roughly in between your present day Earth and Venus. Roughly, but it doesn't have the thick atmosphere of Venus yet, and it's still got a bit of the water left because that water, you know, that water hasn't fully evaporated yet. But you know, it's hanging on in there. That's perfect where I want that temperature. That's looking great. Perfect. I think maybe one moon for you. I mean, Venus Rossin struggles with its moons. I think maybe one decent moon for this would fit quite nicely. Someone needs to come up with a name for this as well. So we need a name for our Mercury-like world, and we need a name for this guy. The barren wasteland. Yeah, that dirt. Just all sand and dirt, isn't it? For the most part. I mean, yeah, it's got the sandy regions there. I really like the cracks of Europa with the Venus texture. I think that is a great looking barren world. I think that looks really, really good. I mean, if it was Hatterable, it would look more like this. In its heyday, it would have looked like that, but it is unfortunately never going to be like that. We'll leave it switched on, but you know, it's never going to be Hatterable. Actually, no, forget that. Right, oh, we didn't change how exaggerated. Oh, this could be good. Oh yeah, just a tad bit. I just want to see how that looks on the other side once it does its rotation. But just, you know, a little mess with this. Just give it a little more of that rocky, mountainous region there. So as it rotates, let's get a good look at it. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at the cracks. Oh yes. Oh, that looks so good. Oh yes, that is awesome. Okay, right, we're leaving that alone. That is done. That is done and dusted, and that is looking awesome. That orange, give it a nice orange. A deep orange. There you go. Right, okay, now moon-wise. One moon. I think that's maybe one asteroid, maybe an asteroid moon as well. So you got your major moon, random moon. We're going to place you at a decent distance, I think. Not that far out, but a decent, you know, quite a far. It's not going to be close to its parent. I'm going to be quite far out. I'm going to place it there. Right, there you go. So there's Oropax moon. So someone needs a name. We need a name for this guy as well. And this guy, I mean, it's going to be a barren rock. There's not much to expect from this. Tethys, maybe? Nice little crater bashed on there. Mixed with Mimas. You know, a bashed up rocky world from an action-packed past, I guess. So you got the big craters of Mimas and Tethys combined on this. There's definitely no atmosphere on this, like we're not having that. Let's remove that completely. Oh no, there already isn't one. Okay, it looks quite cloudy almost. What's going on there? I think it's just the colours. Okay. That's more like it, okay. Yeah, it's just going to be a generic rock. Not much to expect from it. So how does that look? So texture-wise, the Mimas is in there. Oh yeah, you can see the craters. There you got the Tethys crater there. Is that Mimas's crater there? What's going on here? No, it isn't. Where is Mimas's big crater? Oh, there it is, yeah. Hey! So where's Tethys crater compared to Mimas's crater then? So there's Mimas's big crater. Have both the big craters next to each other? Oh, yeah. I think that's Tethys' big crater there, to be honest. Yeah, you can see... Yeah, look at all that bashed in there. Oh. So that's more... That's Mimas's texture taken over there. But then if you put Tethys' texture on... Or is it actually? No, that's... It's weird the way this works, isn't it? Good mix between the two, though, in the middle. There's Mimas's. Yeah, look at the big craters next to each other. Yeah, look at that. Just a bashed up. Something hit this world hard a long time ago. I'm going to have the big crater there. Just on the edge of these Tethys craters. Something like that. Yeah, that's looking cool. No, don't move that. No, no, no. I want to move the other one. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, it actually looks really cool. Oh, I wasn't meant to move that. Whoops. Right, there's the craters. Yeah, so somewhere there. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, and then just figure out the Mimas one a bit more. God, it really doesn't look nice, this guy, does it? It's just a bashed up rock. Maybe some darker regions as well. Sort of dark brown shade in there mixed in. The high elevation is that, isn't it? Keep that white. Yeah, that's looking good. Oh, that's your real colour of the moon there. Let's darken it down a bit, maybe. Maybe make this sky slightly brown in colour. Get the orange. Yeah, something like that. So it's got the light patches and it's got some really dark patches. Yeah, no, that's definitely better dark as well. For sure, maybe some even darker regions. The black, you got the black, the brown, and the white mixed in there. Still quite close to the star, so it definitely wouldn't be icy. So it's just again, this is a scorched sort of moon we got going on here. Oh, there's Tethys crater. That's the main case of Tethys. Is this tilt? Okay, I'm just gonna. So where's Mimas's big crater then? So that we know Tethys' one is there. That's Mimas's crater there. So I kind of want to move the big Mimas crater near the big Tethys crater, which is down there. So let's actually go back to the textures, because I want to have them all together. Just a massive spashed up face of craters. So where is... I mean, it can't be that hard to miss, right? There it is. You can see it roughly there. Yeah, that's you can see the crater. Oh, yes, it's just got all the bashed face up together. And then maybe just change the offset a bit. No, not offset, that's magnitude. Yeah, that's Mimas's crater there. You can see it easy there. So it's just so I can see all the craters at once. Quite hard to merge them together. You can see there's that crater there. Mimas's big crater at the top there. They can't have them on the same elevation though, which is a bit annoying, but oh well. Yeah. Where's it gone now? So it is still there. I think the Tethys craters look better, to be honest, as the main sort of attraction. You can see the big Mimas crater. It is there. It is just hidden there. You know, it's just a little darker. Maybe we have it there. You can see it is still... That is your big crater. You can see it perfectly there. Oh, that actually looks... Ah, you can see them all merged in... That's quite a decent mix. I don't know if that looks as good as what it did before. Actually, I may just put it back to the way it was. The Tethys craters look better standing out, I think. But the big Io crater is still... Or the... Not Io crater. The big Mimas crater is there. You can see it. It's just very hidden in there. So there's Tethys' crater. But yeah, that's a bashed up... That is a bashed up moon, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Maybe there's a little too much brown. I think there's a little more grey. A little more going on there. Just to light up those craters a bit more. Oh yeah, you can definitely see the Mimas crater now. Yeah, okay, that may have fixed it actually. So they got... There's one of Tethys' craters. Then you got the big Tethys crater down here somewhere. Oh, that's kind of disappeared. There's Mimas's crater. Where did the big Tethys... I mean, yeah, you got them there. I mean... I don't know if you're going to get much better than that. I'm going to have a quick tweak again. Just one more. I don't want to waste too much time on this. So Mimas's big crater right there. Yes. Yeah. Leave that the way it is. Then Tethys' texture. I mean, you can see there's a lot of craters going on there, though. It's all about just getting it perfect. I'm being very picky here, like really, really picky. Trying to get it, you know, roughly where I want it, but it's not easy. If I switch that off, that's Mimus completely switched off. That's all Teffy's texture there. That's all you're getting is Teffy's right now. So you can see the Teffy's big crater down there. And then if we put Mimus back on, Mimus's crater has reappeared there. So you got one crater there, big crater, second crater, third crater there. That's probably the best I'm going to get. Maybe turn the terrain up so you can see him a bit more, maybe. Oh, that doesn't really make a difference because these guys don't have height maps. Contrast, maybe. Oh, contrast may show him a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can definitely see 1, 2, 3. There's a fourth one there. So just a bashed up face. I'm going to stick with that. That's enough playing around. It looks great though. You can see the big. You can easily see the big crater on it. Yeah, that's looking good. Yeah. Yes. Cool. Right. And that is our moon around our barren wasteland. That does look so cool. Right, and then lastly, cheeky asteroid moon, I think. Yeah, no small moons. Asteroid. Have it inner. Let's have an inner asteroid. Put it there. That's mole. There we go. Cool. So again, there's not much customization needed here, but you know I like to customize literally everything. So it's already got some craters on it. I mean, okay, planet 10 and planet 1. So let's maybe throw it in a rear. Or just anything. Maybe, where's the ones used? Where is it? Vesta. Not Venus, Vesta. Looks pretty wild, doesn't it? So weird the way this works. Oh god. Oh, it's so strange the way that works. Okay, there we go. And then base colour. Darken it down. Oh man, okay. Dark rock. Mysterious dark rock. Got a few dark patches going on there. Nah, it can't be completely dark, surely not. There you go. Okay. And then, oh. I just love Planet 15 on asteroids. It just looks so good. And low elevation. The lighter patches. There you go, I'm sticking with that. So it's a more spherical moon, but it's still an asteroid, so 54 a lot across, yeah, not too much. There you go, yeah, I'm sticking with that. Rotational period, we're going way faster than 100 days. Make this thing spin fairly rapidly. There you go. Cool. And there we are. So that does it. I think that does it for today's episode. So we've got 2 new objects added in the system. So I think we'll try and do them in 2s now. Unless it's a gas giant where it literally takes ages to build. I think we can mostly get these done in sets of 2 now. So guys, there we are. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below on our 2 planets we've curated. So let's get the full lineup now. And this system's coming along nicely. You've got the gas giants, you've got our new Mercury, Super Mercury there, cratered, battered up. Got our new Wasteland, mixed between present-day Earth and present-day Venus. And then you've got our new moon in there as well. Which is fairly far down the list, isn't it? There it is, Aura Packs. Looking good. So it fits in quite nicely with our lineup there as well. Sweet. So there we go. So while we're thinking about it, let's throw a save in, because imagine if we didn't. Oh my god, that would be a catastrophe. Right, save. There you go. Yeah, sweet. And there we are, guys. So that does it for this episode. So yeah, thoughts and opinions, feedback, let me know down below. Very keen to hear your thoughts on this. And yeah, definitely we need some names for those objects we've just created as well. So yeah, let me know those down below in the comments. And yeah, let me know what you want to see next. I'm definitely thinking further out, in between Dominant Gas Giant and now Ice Giant, we could fit a Super Earth, a frozen ice world. And then there's definitely space for one more Gas Giant, and then we'll squeeze in some dwarf planets, I think. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. The inner solar system is done. There's no way we're fitting anything more up to Stellar Blue or Steve Blue. There's no way anything else is fitting in there. We should probably leave a gap to the Gas Giant, shouldn't we? And then more objects further out. And then we're almost done, I think. Maybe 2 or 3 more objects. Maybe 2 more episodes of 4 objects overall. I think then we have this thing done. And then we'll start evolving it to death. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, again, thoughts, opinions, feedback, let me know in the comments. And like I said, have a great day. Make sure you subscribe as well. Helps on the journey to 40,000 subscribers. And leave a like if you haven't as well. Let's try and go for 100 likes on today's video, guys. And yeah, stay tuned for the future episodes. With that all said and done, guys, see you later. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.